Hare Krishna,
Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Panchakalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanobhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। All glories to assembled devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. This is Radha Pyari Devidasi. Radha Pyari Devidasi from Baltimore. Welcome to Bhakti Sanga conference call. I thank you all of you for attending this section. Please forgive me for interrupting your ecstatic chanting. I would like to read the 10 offenses to the holy names which are to be avoided, written by Srila Vyasadeva in the Padma Purana. 1. To blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. 2. To consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of the Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the orders of the spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in considered to the Vedic version. 5. To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. 6. To give some interpretations to the holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. 8. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruity activities, karma kanda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10. To not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachment even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inadvertent while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success. Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank you everyone for joining the Bhakti Sangha conference call today. Let us move to our next section, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class. May you know who all have joined the call this morning. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण राधा प्यारी माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम शिला प्रभुपाद की जय गुरु महाराज की जय प्रीतिदासी फ्रॉम शार्लोट हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna Preeti Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from College Station, Texas.
Hare Krishna Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Anita Ramya from India.
Hare Krishna Anta Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Radha Pyari Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Shamagari Devdasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna Shama Gauri Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Radha Pyari Mataji, Your Grace, Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajis. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from Raleigh.
Hare Krishna Krishna Kumari Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Radha Pyari Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. My humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. This is Sundarangi Radha Devi Dasi from Canada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Sundarangi Radha Devi Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna. Is there anybody else who would like to introduce themselves? Shall we start recording, Mataji, if nobody is there?
Mataji, today no introduction. Mataji, usually Prabhuji don't like it. So we can chant until Prabhuji joins. When Prabhuji joins, I'll start recording.
Yeah, sure, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.
Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare.
Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare
Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram.
Hare Krishna Mataji, you are muted, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to Bhakti Sanga conference call. Today we are fortunate to have His Grace Radhika Vallabha Prabhuji enlightening us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th Canto, 13th chapter, verse 31 onwards. Mataji, Prabhuji join. Yeah. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam, all Gurus to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for giving your valuable time and association to us this morning and enlightening on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. I would like to hand over call to Prabhuji. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, Mataji. We'll begin the class. First, like to offer obeisances to all the devotees who are assembled here for the Srimad Bhagavatam class. So today we are going to read from the 7th canto. We'll begin with the Mangalacharan prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Nashtaprayeshvabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatir Uttamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashadakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So today we are reading from the 7th canto, chapter 13, verse number 31. Recite the shloka.
Prabhuji, are you sharing or shall I share? Prabhuji, usually you share the screen, so I was
Okay.
waiting.
Okay, I'll share the screen. आध्यात्मिकादिभिर्दुःखैर् अविमुक्तस्य कर्हिचित् मर्त्यस्य कृच्छ्रोपणतैर् अर्थैः कामैः क्रियेत किम्. Word to word translation. Adhyatmikadihi. Adhyatmika, Adidaivika and Adibhautika. Dukkhaihi, by the threefold miseries of material life. Avimuktasya, of one who is not freed from such miserable conditions, or one who is subjected to birth, death, old age, disease. Karihichit, sometimes. Martyasya, of the living entity subjected to death. Krichra upantaihi, things obtained because of severe miseries. Arthaihi, even if some benefit is derived. Kamaihi, which can fulfill one's material desires. Kriyeta, what do they do? Kim, and what is the value of such happiness? Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Materialistic activities are always mixed with three kinds of miserable conditions: Adhyatmika, Adidaivika, and Adibhautika. Therefore, even if one achieves some success by performing such activities, what is the benefit of the success? One is still subjected to birth, death, old age, disease, and the reactions of his fruitive activities. Purport. According to the materialistic way of life, if a poor man, after laboring very, very hard, gets some material profit at the end of his life, he is considered a success, even though he again dies while suffering the threefold miseries: Adhyatmika, Adidhaivika, and Adhibhautika. No one can escape the threefold miseries of materialistic life, namely miseries pertaining to the body and mind, miseries pertaining to the difficulties imposed by society, community, nation, and other living entities, and miseries inflicted upon us by natural disturbances from earthquakes, famines, droughts, floods, epidemics, and so on. If one works very hard, suffering the threefold miseries, and then is successful in getting some small benefit, what is the value of this benefit? Besides that, even if a karmi is successful in accumulating some material wealth, he still cannot enjoy it, for he must die in bereavement. I have even seen a dying man begging a medical attendant to increase his life by 4 years so that he could complete his material plans. Of course, the medical man was unsuccessful in expanding the life of the man, who therefore died in great bereavement. Everyone must die in this way. And after one's mental condition is taken into account by the laws of material nature, he is given another chance to fulfill his desires in a different way. Material plans for material happiness have no value, but under the spell of the illusory energy, we consider them extremely valuable. There were many politicians, social reformers, and philosophers who died very miserably without deriving any practical value from their material plans. Therefore, a sane and a sensible man never desires to work under the conditions of threefold miseries, only to die in disappointment. Hare Krishna. So today we are reading from the 7th Canto, 13th chapter. We are reading from the conversation between Prahlad Maharaj and the Avaduta Brahmana. According to the many commentators, this Avaduta Brahmana is Dattatreya. Dattatreya is speaking to Prahlad Maharaj. So Prahlad Maharaj was going around in his kingdom in order to understand what is going on in the mind of the different citizens. A king is also supposed to sometimes a king, if he is only dependent on his close ministers to know the opinion of the common people, the king can get misguided also. Sometimes the close ministers may not exactly tell what is the opinion of the common people. So sometimes the king will have to go in disguise to find out what is going on in the minds of the common people. When Narada Muni visited Lord Krishna's palaces, in one of the palaces, Narada Muni saw that Lord Krishna, disguising himself as an ordinary person, he was going around in order to find out what is going on in the minds of the common people. Lord Ram also did that. So Prahlad Maharaj also wanted to know the opinion of the common people, so therefore he was going around. So he came across this this sadhu was lying there in the banks of Kaveri, and seeing this particular saintly person who was practicing ajagra vritti like a python. Python does not move from a particular place. Whatever comes on its own accord, the python will eat it. The python will not put any effort to get food. So this person was lying down like a python. Prahlad Maharaj could recognize him as a deep saintly person. Therefore, he asked certain questions. And the Dattatreya, this personality Dattatreya, is answering the questions of Prahlad Maharaj. So very profound instruction this Dattatreya is speaking. We'll again read the shloka. Adhyatmikadibir dukkhair avimuktasya karichit martyasya krichropanatair artikamai kriyeta kim. Avimuktasya. Mukta means liberated. Avimuktasya means a person who is not liberated. A person who is not liberated from what? Who is not liberated from the threefold miseries. Which miseries? Adhyatmika, Adi Daivika, Adi Bhautika. Avimuktasya, one who is not freed from the three miseries, Adhyatmika, Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika. For such a person, and then one more adjective is used, Martyasya. Such a person can die at any moment. He is a Martyasya. He can die at any moment. What can he achieve? Such a person, Kriyeta Kim. Kim Kriyeta. What can be achieved by such a person? Kim Kriyeta by Krichropanataihi Artai Kamaihi. What can be achieved by attaining objects of enjoyment with great difficulty? Krichra Upanataihi means with a great difficulty. With a great difficulty, what? Artaihi Kamaihi. He is trying to earn Artha in order to fulfill Kama with a great difficulty. But what can he attain? What can he achieve? Even if he puts great difficulty, because he is not freed from the three miseries, Adhyatmika, Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika, and he can die at any moment. So, because sometimes, even if his actions are successful in obtaining certain artha, but still he is unable to enjoy the results because the threefold miseries will not leave him. And even if he enjoys certain happiness, it will be mixed with sorrow. So Prabhupada is very elaborately explaining the purport. How nobody can escape the threefold miseries. So we see several shlokas in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that when he talks about the process of obtaining knowledge, one of the quality one must imbibe in order to obtain knowledge, he mentions that Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukkha Dosha Anudarshanam. Dukkha Dosha Anudarshanam. Anudarshanam means one must repeatedly contemplate. One must repeatedly contemplate about the miseries of Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi. It may appear that Bhagavad Gita is giving a very pessimistic outlook of life. But Prabhupada says that unless a person has a pessimistic, it's not a pessimistic outlook, it is a reality of the world. Unless a person understands the real nature of the world, one will not get an impetus for the spiritual life. One must repeatedly contemplate. In the Bhagavatam, when Vidura comes to meet Maitreya Rishi, Vidura asks a question, Sukaya karmani karoti loko natai sukham vanyaduparamam va vindeta bhuyas tatayeva dukkham yadatra yuktam bhagavan vadennaha. Vidura says that men in this world engage in different actions for sukhaya, for material happiness. But what do they attain? Nataihi sukham va anyaduparamam va. But they do not attain happiness and they are not able to destroy the distress also. Va anyaduparamam va. But despite the fact that they are unable to attain happiness, nor are they able to get relief from the distress, Vindeta bhuyas tatayeva dukkham. Vindeta bhuya. They do not become detached from their attempt to get happiness. They again perform the same actions. And then what happens? Tatayeva dukkham. They increase their suffering. They increase their suffering. Yadatra yuktam bhagavan vadennah. You know all these things. Therefore, please tell me about this. That means Vidura is asking Maitreya Rishi that what is the way by which a person can get complete freedom from the distress and a person can get unceasing happiness. So Vidura is asking this question. So people usually in the materialistic outlook towards the life, one is looking for the happiness outside. One is looking for happiness outside, whereas the happiness is inside. In the Ishopanishad, in one of the mantra, it is said that Anejadeko manaso javiyo nainad deva apnuvan purva marshat tad dhavatonyan atyeti tishtat tasmin napo matarishva dadati. Anejadeko manaso javiyo nainad deva apnuvan purva marshat. Nainad deva apnuvan purva marshat. The devatas cannot understand the Lord. They cannot perceive the Lord, although the Lord is present before them. Although the Lord is present before them, they cannot understand and perceive the Lord. So, Vedanta Desika quotes a shloka from the Chandogya Upanishad. Chandogya Upanishad. Tatyata hiranyanidhim nihitam akshetragya upari sancharanto na vindeyuhu evam eve ma sarva praja aharahar gacchantyetam brahmalokam na vindanti anritena hi pratyudhaha. Just like ignorant people, they are wandering everywhere. They are wandering about over a golden treasure. There is a golden treasure hidden in the earth. They are walking on top of the golden treasure. And they search everywhere, but except that place where the golden treasure is there. Golden treasure is right below them, but they cross that place, they come near that place, but they search everywhere except that particular place. Because why? Such people, they do not attain that golden treasure because they are unaware of the golden treasure, which is the right below them. Similarly, all the living beings in this world are covered by the tendency to perform fruitive activities. They are trying to get happiness by performing fruitive activities, although they every day meet the Lord during deep sleep. Deep sleep, the Atma is disconnected from the mind as well as the senses. Atma is only connected with the Paramatma. Although the living entity every day in deep sleep, he is in the presence of the Paramatma, but the Atma does not attain the world of the Paramatma, does not attain the world of the Bhagavan, because the Atma is only seeking, the conditioned soul is only seeking seeking happiness from the external objects. Just like that person is right on top of the golden treasure, he is searching everywhere but except that particular golden treasure. Similarly, the Jivatma, although he every day is in contact with the Paramatma, but he doesn't look for the Paramatma, but he searches for the happiness outside. Similarly, even the Devatas, although the Lord is right in front of them, Naina Deva Apnuvan Purva Marshat. They cannot understand the Lord, they cannot perceive the Lord, although he is present before them. Like that it is explained. So in the 5th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was having a thought. Since time immemorial, we have been absorbed in the happiness of the worldly objects. How can I give them up? So at that time, Krishna says that you must understand the dosha. You must understand the fault in the happiness of the worldly objects. Then you can easily give them up. So that time Krishna speaks the shloka, Yehi samsparshaja bhoga dukha yonaya evate adyantavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. So Krishna says that you must understand the fault in the happiness of the worldly objects. They have a beginning and end. Samsparshaja means that which is produced by the contact of the senses of the sense objects. Ehi samsparshaja boga. Boga can refer to both happiness and distress. Ehi samsparshaja boga dukkha yonaya evate. So especially Boga in this shloka refers to the happiness which is born by the contact of the senses of the sense objects. Such happiness is dukkha yonaya, that is like a womb in which the dukkha will take birth. But there is no need to hear a discourse to understand the distress in drinking poison or in the difficulties of this world. You don't need to, one does not need to hear a discourse to understand the problems in, say, maybe drinking poison or doing many sinful activities. That is obvious. But especially, even the happiness, the happiness which is produced with the sense gratification, even that also leads to distress. That also gives birth to distress. That one must understand. That is what Krishna says. Therefore, yehi samsparshaja boga especially refers to the happiness from sense gratification. Dukkha yona evate, that is that becomes like a womb in which the dukkha takes birth. So So all the happiness in this world is always mixed with some distress and will definitely lead to some distress. It's like always a sweet rice mixed with a sand. It has a beginning and end. So there are different doshas in the happiness from sense gratification. The first is arjana dosha. While putting different effort to attain those objects, in that effort itself, there are many difficulties. That is arjana dosha. And second is rakshana dosha. There is a dosha, like we have put effort to obtain those objects, and then we are trying to protect what we have obtained. And in the attempt to protect those objects, that also there are miseries are there. There are many difficulties. That is rakshana dosha. And the third is kshaya dosha. Whatever objects we may have obtained for material sense gratification, they also start deteriorating in due course of time. That is kshaya dosha. And fourth is boga dosha. And when we try to enjoy those objects, it will create a craving for even more. That is boga dosha. Najatu kama kamanam upabogena shamyati havisha krishna vartmeva bhuya evabi vardate. As supplying butter to a fire does not diminish the fire, but instead increases the fire even more. The endeavor to stop the kama by continuous enjoyment can never be successful. That's the boga dosha. And then finally, himsa dosha. So in getting some sense pleasure, we also invariably end up giving some trouble to some other living entity. It is not free from giving some trouble to other living entity. In this way, these are the 5 doshas related to material sense gratification, getting artha or kama. Prahlad Maharaj in his prayers, very beautifully he says, Drishtamaya tvayi vibho kila dishnya ayushriyo vibhava mind ayushriyo vibhava yichati yanjanoyam nechami te vilulita yesmat pitu kupita hasa vijrambita bru vispurjitena lulita satute nirastaha drishta maya divi vibho kila dishnya pana. I have seen the lifespan, wealth, and the power of the devatas. Akhila dishnya panam. I have seen the Ayu Shriya Vaibhava, lifespan, wealth, and power of the devatas. Yan Janoyam Ichati, which the people in this world desire. People of this world desire the lifespan of the devatas, the power of the devatas, and the wealth of the devatas. Yesmat pitu kupita hasa vijrumbita bru vispurjitena lulita satute nirastaha. My father had all these things. He had brought the entire devatas under his control. The devatas, people, common people desire the wealth, power, and the enjoyment of the devatas. But the devatas were destroyed by the movement of the eyebrow of my father. All these devatas, yesmat pitu kupita hasa vijrumbita pru. All these devatas were brought under control by my father. And then, my dear Lord, you have destroyed my father. So Prahlad Maharaj is speaking this beautiful shloka. And so therefore, the mood of Prahlad Maharaj is that I don't desire material opulence, rather I just want to be your servant. So I recognize you as the Supreme Lord because of your extraordinary power. The Prabhupada says that we have actual experience that even on this planet there have been many great politicians and military commanders like Napoleon, Hitler, Subhash Chandra Bose. But as soon as their lives were finished, their popularity, influence, and everything else were finished also. Prahlad Maharaj formerly gathered the same experience by seeing the activities of Hiranyakashipu. So a Vaishnava can understand that nothing within the material world, not even that which is powerful, opulent, or influential, can endure. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj did not give any importance to anything in this world. And then Prahlad Maharaj says, Tasmadamus tanubruta mahamasishogya ayashriyo vibhava maindriyama virinchyat nechamite vilulita nuruvikramena kalatmano panayamam nijabritya parshvam. So therefore, tasmat, therefore, na ichhami, I do not want these objects of enjoyment. Ayu, Shriya, Vibhava, Aindriyam. I do not desire these objects of enjoyment. That is lifespan, wealth, power, or sense enjoyment. Aindriyam avirinchyat. Sense enjoyment of the living beings up to that of Brahma. Avirinchyat. Why? Because all these things are destroyed by your power as a time factor. Vilulitan uruvikramena kalatmano. All these things are destroyed by your power as a time factor. What I desire is that Nija Britya Parshvam Upanaya. Please take me to the side of your servant. I just want to be the servant of your servant. That is, I just want to study. I just want to be the servant of Narada Muni. The Prabhupada again says here, by studying Srimad Bhagavatam, every intelligent man can get the experience like that of Prahlad Maharaj through the historical incidents mentioned in this Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, by following the footsteps of Prahlad Maharaj, one should gain thorough experience that all material opulence is perishable at every moment. So, and then further Prahlad Maharaj says, Kutra Shisha Shruti Sukha Mrigatrishni Rupa Kvedam Kalevaramashesha Rujam Viroha Nirvidyate Natu Jano Yadapiti Vidwan Kamanalam Madulavai Shamayan Durapai. So Prahlad says that he is again explaining the reason for not desiring Artha and Kama. Kutra Ashisha Shruti Sukha Mrigatrishni Rupa. What is the use of the material objects which give only pleasure to while hearing about it? Shruti Sukha, which are pleasant only to hear about and to see. Mrigatrishni Rupa. They are like a mirage actually. They give pleasure while seeing, oh, there is a water there. They give pleasure while hearing about it. Kvedam Kalevaram Ashesha Rujam Viroha. What is the Kva Idam Kalevaram? What is the use of this body? Which is Ashesha Rujam Viroha, which is the breeding place for unlimited diseases. Ashesha Rujam Viroha. nirvidyate natujano yadapiti vidwan. Although a person, he knows this condition of life. This is an interesting point. Although a person nirvidyate natujano yad apiti vidwan, vidwan api, although a person knows this condition of life, kamanalam madulavai shamayan durapai, but still he pacifies the fire of desire by a drop of hard-earned happiness. Kamanalam madulavai shamayan durapai. He pacifies the kama analam, the fire of desire, by madulavai, by a drop of hard-earned happiness, but does not actually become detached. Despite knowing this, a person still tries to pacify the fire of material desire. So, in this way, Prahlad Maharaj is speaking about this. So, Prabhupada also says that just like one cannot stop a blazing fire by constantly putting ghee over it, similarly, one cannot satisfy oneself by increasing one's plans for sense enjoyment. And the material world is compared to a Bhava Mahadavagni. It is a forest fire. So sometimes even suppose a lamp is there, you may put a lot of quantity of ghee and then you can extinguish the lamp also. But then the material existence is like Bhava Mahadavagni. It's a blazing forest fire. So it cannot be pacified by Madulavai Shamayan Durapai. In the Bhagavad Gita, 5th chapter, Krishna says that Yonta Sukontar Aramas Tatantar Jyotirevayah Sayogi Brahma Nirvanam Brahma Bhutodi Gacchati. Yonta Sukontar Aramas, one whose happiness is within and who is active and rejoices within and whose aim is inward, is actually the perfect mystic. Sayogi Brahma Nirvanam. And he is liberated in the Supreme and ultimately he attains the Supreme. So there are three things. Bogyam, Boga Upa Karanam and Bogastanam. Bogyam means that which is to be enjoyed. Bogastanam is the place of enjoyment. Boga Upa Karanam is the instrument for enjoying. For example, a person is in a garden. That garden is the Bogastanam. And there is a nice sandalwood. It's a nice, cool sandalwood is there. The nice smell of the sandalwood is there. That is the Bogyam. And our nose is the Boga Upa Karanam. So when Krishna in this verse in the Bhagavad Gita, he says that the person who has given up the worldly objects, for a worldly person, materialistic person, for him the Boga Upa Karana is his different senses. And the Bogya is the different sense objects. Different external sense objects. And different Bogastana is there. But a person who is on the path of self-realization, he has replaced the Bogya, Boga Upakarana and Bogastanam. All three are for him the Atma only. All three are Atma. He wants to realize the Atma. The first 6th chapter, Krishna is speaking about the Atma Sakshatkara, using by talking about Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga. So for this person, the Bogya Vastu is Atma. And the Bogastana, so the Bogya Vastu is Atma. And the Bogastana is also Atma. So for enjoying the worldly objects, one has to choose a particular place for enhancing his enjoyment, experience of that happiness. But for this person, the Bogastana is Atma only, Antar Aramaha. And generally for worldly objects, we need an instrument for enjoying the worldly objects. But for this Karma Yogi, he uses Atma itself as the Boga Upa Karana for enjoying the Atma. So this Karma Yogi has replaced Bogya, Bogastana and Boga Upa Karana. All three are Atma for him. So such a person, Sayogi Brahma Nirvanam Brahma Bhutodi Gacchati. So such a person, Sayogi Brahma Nirvanam, such a person becomes Brahman. It doesn't mean that he becomes identical with the Paramatma. That means such a person becomes Brahman means he attains a natural state of the Atma. That means while having this material body, such a person almost attains the state of the pure Atma. So even Prahlad Maharaj, when he is speaking to his Hiranyakashipu, Prahlad Maharaj says that Nate vidu swartha gatim hi Vishnum durashayaye bahirartha maninaha anda yatandais upagiyamanas tepisha tantra urudamni baddha. He says that Nate vidu swartha gatim hi Vishnum. People, they do not know that one's real self-interest lies in Vishnu. Durashayaye bahirartha manina. Rather, being ambitious to enjoy this world, bahirartha manina, they give great value to the external sense objects. They don't understand that one's real self-interest lies in Vishnu. And such people, anda yatandai rupaniya manas, tepisha tantriyam urudamni baddha. Such blind people, they are led by other blind men. And tepisha tantriyam urudamni baddha. And they are bound by the ropes of fruitive labor, which are made of very strong cords. And they continue again and again in the materialistic life, suffering the threefold miseries. In this way, Prahlad Maharaj is speaking to Hiranyakashipu. So what is the solution? What is the ultimate solution to uproot the three miseries completely? Adhyatmika, Adidevika, Adibhautika, three miseries. How can we uproot it completely? That is explained in the Bhagavatam itself. Dharma projita kaita votra paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastavamatra vastu shivadam tapatrayonmulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamunikrite Kimva Pareirishvara Sadyo Hridyavarudyatetra Kritibihi Shushrusubis Tatshanat. So in the shloka, it's explained that Tapatrayon Mulanam, Tapatraya Unmulanam, by giving humble oral reception to the message of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the threefold miseries are completely uprooted. They are uprooted. A person gets the strength to deal with the threefold miseries. Yasyam vai shruyamanayam Krishne parama purushe bhaktir utpadyate pumsam shoka moha bayapaha. By hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Yasyam vai shruyamanayam Krishne parama purushe. By hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, in which Lord Krishna is described, Bhaktir Utpadyate Pumsam, one develops Prema Bhakti towards the Lord Krishna, Krishne Parama Purushe. And Shoka Moha Bayapaha, one becomes freed from lamentation and illusion and fear. Lamentation is about the past, illusion is about the present, and fear is about the future. In this way, this Dattatreya is giving such beautiful wisdom to Prahlad Maharaj. I'll recite the shloka once more and end. Adhyatmikadi birdukhair avimuktasya karihichit martyasya krichro panatair arthai khamai kriyeta kim. So for a person who is not freed from the threefold miseries and who can suddenly die, martyasya, what can he achieve by putting great effort to get artha and kama? Hare Krishna. If anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Such a wonderful class. I'm requesting devotees, if anybody have any questions, please go ahead.
Pranam Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please go ahead, Prabhuji.
Okay, Prabhuji, Pranam, I have a question regarding the sloka reported Sukhai Karmani Karoti Lok. So what was the answer given by Maitreya Muni to Sri Vidurji? That answer I want to know.
Yeah, Maitreya Rishi starts speaking Bhagavatam further. Vidura asks several questions. Vidura begins with a question. Exactly Maitreya Rishi, which verse he answers, but Maitreya Rishi essentially starts speaking Bhagavatam. Vidura asks a series of questions, the third canto, 5th chapter beginning. And Maitreya Rishi says that in order to answer, I will start speaking the Bhagavatam, like that it begins.
So there wasn't any specific
specific
answer.
shloka, a specific shloka to specifically to answer this, I'm not remembering. If I come across, I'll tell you. But essentially, the specific answer to the shloka is like the way Shukdev Goswami spoke, Kechit Kevalaya Bhaktiya Vasudeva Parayana Agam Dunvanti Katsyena Niharam Iva Bhaskara. Maitreya starts describing the creation, and then specifically for this question, which shloka is the answer? If I remember, I'll tell you. Okay, any other?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. It's look like nobody have any question, Prabhuji.
Okay, so we'll end here.
Yes, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for an enlightening class today. We are very grateful to you and we look forward to your association again and again in the future. Let's pay our obeisance to Prabhuji.
Kripa Sindhupeya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo Namo
Namaha.
Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Jai. Radhika Vallabha Prabhuji ki
Jai. Thank you, Prabhuji, for the beautiful class.
Jai.
Nityananda.
Nityananda.